Este próximo martes 30 de junio se va a conocer quién será el candidato demócrata que estará aspirando a la silla del Senado por Colorado. Es decir, vamos a conocer quién es el contendor de Cory Gardner. Conversamos con Andrew Romanoff y con John Hickenlooper, quienes son esos dos precandidatos demócratas que están en competencia en este momento. John Hickenlooper llegó a la contienda a colocar su nombre en la boleta con doble sistema. Participó en el sistema de asambleas de ciudadanos y al mismo tiempo recolectó el número de firmas requeridas. Cuando alcanzó el número de firmas, abandonó el sistema de asamblea, pero ya eso había ocurrido muy al final de ese proceso de participación ciudadana. Aquí les dejamos nuestra conversación con él, está en inglés, pero ustedes pueden leer el texto de la entrevista unido a el link de este video. Governor, you have a vision about the state, but now you are looking at the state in a different view. Could you summarize what is your vision about Colorado if you have the opportunity of being in the Senate?
Yes, of course. I think Colorado, we are a different type of place. We collaborate at the speed of trust, is what I say. And the problem in Washington, it is broken. No one, it's partisan politics all day, every day. And we've seen that with Senator Gardner. He supports President Trump 100% of the time. That is not the way democracy is intended. I think we have to I want to go to Washington. And when I was mayor, I worked with the suburban mayors, and we created a transit initiative with 34 mayors unanimously supporting a tax increase to build it. I worked with the oil and gas industry and the environmentalists to create methane regulations when I was governor. I love working with people that don't necessarily like each other and finding common ground, and then using that common ground to go forward and compromise, collaborate, and create progress. And that's what Washington does. It doesn't have. That's what Washington needs. And I think it's what I've done as a mayor, as a governor, and as a small business person. Washington, there are only 5 people in the Senate that have experience in small business. And that is why, if you look at the CARES Act after COVID-19, the small businesses, truly small businesses, less than 100 employees, less than 50 employees, they were almost forgotten. I would never let that happen. I would make sure that small businesses had a voice, because I am from small business. The Latino community is perhaps some of the greatest entrepreneurs and small business creators in Colorado and in America. They need to have an opportunity.
Why do you support a health public option rather than Medicaid for all?
Well, when I was governor, we expanded Medicaid, and we got to almost 95% coverage, not 100%. I believe healthcare is a right and not a privilege, and we should get to 100%. I think we can get there faster by taking what Barack Obama created, the Affordable Care Act, and not scrapping it and starting over from scratch, which is what Andrew Romanoff wants. He wants to get rid of it and start from scratch and build all new. I think we take the Affordable Care Act and add in the public option, which is what President Obama originally intended. And we can get to 100% coverage within a year or two. And I think that's a unique and powerful opportunity, and much faster and with less chaos as a way to get to universal coverage.
What is the first step for getting immigration reform? What should be the beginning for getting the reform?
Well, certainly I think the DREAM Act is the stepping stone, the foundation by which we can get to comprehensive immigration reform. But I think we also have to recognize and eliminate the humanitarian crisis at our southern border. The United States is not a country that has ever been should never be seen. The United States should never be seen as a country that allows children to be torn from the arms of their parents and put in cages or cells of detention. We need to fix that humanitarian situation at the border immediately. And then from there, then you begin to negotiate. What does a comprehensive immigration reform look like, right? We obviously need workers in this country. We're not going to deport 12 million people. That would be crazy. It would destroy our economy. But we also have to create a system whereby, people have an ID system, and people that are here working should be allowed to go back and forth across the border to visit their family in Asia or Mexico or South America, wherever. Again, I think the elements are pretty obvious. We had a solution 7 years ago in 2013 with the Gang of Eight. There were 68 votes that would support it in the US Senate. And yet Cory Gardner at that time was in the House and he opposed it. And I think that's the trick. He won't say what his solution is, but we've had compromises. Certainly that one in 2013, that was a compromise that we should have believed in. And maybe we need to change a little bit here or a little bit there, but this is the time. I mean, we know this is a time where we should find that compromise.
Do you agree with the idea that Cory Gardner lied to war across the aisles and he is comfortable making bipartisan agreements?
Well, he has worked hard to make that part of his identity. But so many of his bipartisan bills are very small and of not significant importance. And, he's had one or two important bills. I don't deny that. But like the CORE Act, which is essential to Colorado, it protects 400,000 acres. He still won't support it. And again, he supports the lawsuit of President Obama that wants to destroy the Affordable Care Act. Well, if you took away the Affordable Care Act, 2.4 million Coloradans would lose their protections for their pre-existing medical conditions, right? These are many people with these pre-existing conditions are from lower income communities. That's not fair. And Cory Gardner doesn't have anything to replace the Affordable Care Act with. They want to tear down government, and they don't believe in government. They want no government. And I think we've seen with COVID-19 what happens when you have no government.
If you could ask Andrew Romanoff anything, what would you ask him?
I think I would ask him about healthcare. I think I would ask him, why do you want to scrap what Barack Obama created and start all over again when, by building on the Affordable Care Act, we could get to universal coverage really in just a couple of years? It would be much more successful.
And the final question, what have been your go-to banjo song to play during the quarantine?
There's an old Woody Guthrie song called "This Land Is Your Land," and it's a good banjo song. It's a good song on a guitar. Unfortunately, I haven't had enough time to play the banjo as frequently as I would desire. But thank you for the question.
Okay, thank you, Governor.